In this video, I'm going to show you how I prepare my flowers to go on a cake. There are several different ways to do this, but this is how I do it. The first thing you want to do with your flowers is to prepare them to go on the cake. So I like to cut the stems short, which just makes them easier to work with. And then I rip off all the little leaves because you're not going to need those leaves when you add the flower to the cake. And then I like to give my flowers a rinse just to remove any possible dirt or little bugs that could possibly be in there. And then to get off that excess water, I like to just give it a quick little spin. And then set it out on a paper towel to dry while I prepare all the other flowers. Make sure you're checking every single flower for any damaged petals, especially with roses. They tend to have a lot of damaged petals on the underside of the rose. So just gently pluck those off and then give it a rinse and spin and set it out to dry. Once you have all your flowers prepped, you're going to want some toothpicks, some floral tape, as well as some paper straws. How I prep the stem of my flower really varies depending on how thick the stem is. But the main goal here is to ensure that whatever is touching the inside of the cake is completely food safe. What I usually do is I wrap the stem with a little bit of floral tape to seal the stem in, and then I will just cut off a piece of the paper straw and slide it over top of the floral tape. But roses can be really tricky, and sometimes their stem is too fat to fit these paper straws. So if I have that problem, what I will do is cut the entire stem off all the way down to the bottom, and I'll just put a toothpick in the base of the flower. And then before I add it to the cake, I'll add a small amount of buttercream as a barrier, and then I'll just stick only the toothpick into the cake. For other flowers where the stem is significantly smaller than my paper straws, I will wrap enough floral tape around the stem to make it thick enough so that the paper straw can fit snugly over the flower, because you don't want the flower to fall out during transportation. So I like it to be nice and snug. So I add just enough paper, just enough floral tape so that the straw fits over it perfectly. With my reference photo handy, I start sticking the flowers into the cake. I like to use tweezers to do this because it allows you to get in there without touching the cake or touching the flower. Especially with roses, their petals are really delicate and can be bruised really easily. Now with greenery, when you have a stem that's super thin and very delicate, I do the exact same thing. I use a